What can your children do over summer break? Next on Food for Thought. Hi, I'm Jodi, the host for Food for Thought, and thanks for watching. Today I'm joined by Amanda Salveron from Anne Arundel County Public Schools, and you're going to hear a lot about programming and a lot about summer. Welcome, Amanda, to Food for Thought.
Thank you, Jodi, for having me. I appreciate being here with you, and I'm looking forward to share out information about our summer programs and how we've partnered with Food and Nutrition Services.
Can you first start and tell the viewers, what's your role here? Because I think you have a lot of hats. More hats than I always remember. So tell them a little bit about your role, your title. What are your responsibilities for Anne Arundel County Public Schools?
All right, sure thing. So I am the manager of academic supports and enhanced programs, and that means I get to have my hand in a lot of different things. I support our elementary offices of literacy, mathematics, and early childhood, but then a great part of my role is to work with lots of different partners, both in the school system and outside the school system, to plan for summer programs for thousands of children across the district. I've been here in Anne Arundel County for almost 25 years, and I am proud to have served my career here and continue to work with our communities in great ways.
Perfect. And I know when we're together, we're often talking about academic success, enrichment for our children or our students, just the mental activity, the physical activity. When you think about all of those things we just talked about, and it's really just the well-being of our student, right? The student's just in the circle and all of the supports are all around the student. What do you look at when you're planning a summer programming? Or how do you look at that mental piece and the physical piece for our students to keep them engaged, enriched, and just ready to learn each and every day?
So there's a lot that goes into that, right? And engaging students and families is both a personal and a professional goal of mine. Our students in Anne Arundel County have access to a variety of different programs during the summer, again, both in the schoolhouse and with partners in our communities. So we have partnered with offices, our cultural arts, environmental literacy, of course, all of our academics, but then also with many of our community partners, including the Annapolis Maritime Museum, Anne Arundel Community College, because we all recognize that it does take our full community to meet the needs of our students and families. As we look at the number of programs, we want to serve as many students as we can. And again, being able to partner with you and Food and Nutrition Services gives us access to different communities and support, again, both their academic, their physical, and their social emotional needs.
And I know one of the partners that we work with in food service often is Recreation and Parks. So they're also at the table with you, right? You're looking at where do they have I'm going to call it childcare. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they always call it childcare, but I'll call it childcare, right? So where else do they have those programs? And then how can we partner together either on the curriculum, right, or the enrichment side, as well as the free meals, right?
Absolutely. So in some of the identified 14 elementary sites, we do partner with Parks and Recs. Sometimes they do have that full day summer program or child care that services the community. They also have week-long camps and programs that are accessible through their website as well. Those, again, cover a variety of fun, arts. They have a chess camp, a music camp, and being able to work with them and have them in our schools really builds our partnership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really part of the school, right? Or that hub being the center of the community. Mm-hmm. They're right there with us.
Absolutely.
So I think your task at hand is huge because you have to look at, and I think we'll talk about how do we market it or how do we communicate it first, but then can we talk about how do you decide? I should know this, but there's something like, is it hundreds of programs or?
So there are.
It's a lot.
There are a lot.
Kudos to you. Yeah.
So communication is huge, right? Which was one of the great opportunities I have in this position, is to partner with our communications office, directly with our business managers, our school principals, and our school secretaries, and also the AACPS website. So being able to get flyers out there directly to our schools, partnering with Parks and Recs. They share our information as we share their information. On the carousel of the AACPS website, you will see the summer program's application process up on that site when that is available. And you're right, there are many, many hands that go into the decisions around facilities. With the 97 different programs that we have going on, that encompasses 667 sessions that are available to our students, again, pre-K through the end of high school in 12th grade. And the process of choosing those locations starts very early on, absolutely with a debrief of the summer prior, but then we bring all of our great stakeholders to the table. We bring our partners, we bring facilities, preventative maintenance, food and nutrition services, technology, everybody to the table to debrief, to see where were we, how can we move from good to great, to look at what those processes are to serve our students and our communities better. It's really important to look at all of those plans.
And I think it's funny because I think you said something that I think for a viewer watching is very interesting. So throughout the year, we're talking about summer, planning for summer, debriefing on the past summer, right? I think it's the part that's amazing. And it's amazing to me, like when we end, school meals or summer meals, it's the same thing. We talk right to you and to the partners of how things worked, but we're also looking internally. Like, what did the menu do? Does it work when it goes out on a mobile meals? Can you package it correctly? Does the hot food stay hot? Does the cold food stay cold? Like, what could we do better? So I think it's important for our viewers watching that it might be summer programming, but summer programming is a full year commitment to make it great for the students.
It sure is. The planning for summer programs starts the day after the current summer program ends, again, with those debriefs, considering what is it that we can do to work with our partners to identify how can we make this better. But also we have to take time to celebrate what went well, right? Mm-hmm. Delivering meals to thousands and thousands of our students and families during the summer is something that we need to celebrate. And being able to partner with you to make those appropriate choices of areas that have greater need, are accessible to our students and families, and then our students may have an opportunity to not only receive that nutrition that's needed during the summer, but also enrichment or academic support.
And we talk often about this, outside of the show today, but typically summer meals are provided at a site, a school site, and it could be an outside partner, right? It could be either for us, inside or external. And they have to have free and reduced priced eligibility over 50%. So for someone watching, that's like half of that population in the school is in need, right? Or at a poverty level that would indicate free meals. If you're doing programming in a school, right, because you have some in schools that might not meet that 50%, but the family might be saying, watching this right now, I really need these meals, right? The bell rang, school ended, but I still have hungry family. I still have the stress of what food costs right now and how do I provide best for my family. They can come to an open site and receive the meals, right? So it's open to the community, not only in the sites that we are open with you, but we also have open sites and we also have mobile meal sites.
And that's what I think is great about our relationship, is that we have common goals, right? One in particular is finding or developing innovative ways to reach students during the summer, whether that be their need for meals during the summer, but also academic programming. We recognize that during the summer, things may be a little bit more tough. School is out. You guys pick up with meals again that Monday following. We do pick up with some summer programming so that our parents do have something else to rely on to keep their students growing, both again nutritionally and academically during the summer.
Even I think they have physical activity, right? There's still movement in the classroom. They might have the activity still that's planned at the school. Can you talk? I think you said 667. And I probably gave it I was saying a few hundred. I had no idea it was really, I mean, I knew it was a lot. But what are some of the highlights? And I know they're all very special to you, right? But just, I'm trying to think, like, we've seen everything because they are academically driven, but there's some that are arts.
Yes.
Art driven, right? Yeah. Or dance, or I don't know. You probably know them all very well. I'm giving them a disservice, but just share a little bit about them. And then again, how do you connect with the person at Anne Arundel County Public Schools or Chesapeake Arts Center? How do you do that connection? How do you, it's all about relationships. We say it all the time, and you do it so well. Share a little of the highlights and then how you do that connection.
Yeah. So it's certainly intentional, right? There's intention around building that relationship, especially being new to a position, being in the system for an extended period of time. I do leverage some of those relationships that I have built over time to try to bring new and exciting things to our students during summer programs. There are so many programs that we don't even have enough time to mention them all, but we are looking at the whole child. Again, academics is something that people think of often, but even in our academic programs with our elementary, we include our cultural arts. Our students do have that physical activity. There is an art element. There are certain things that support all of our social emotional learning competencies. Playing board games, having students engage, building that community, we recognize that need. You did mention the arts, dance, music, visual arts. We also have activities that take place at Arlington Echo, again, supporting what we do during the school year, but also training up some of our middle and high school students to be counselors and to come back and support those elementary students. We have a variety of programs that support our English language development, again, both from elementary into secondary. We have some pre-K offerings this year that we hope to expand on in the future. STEM offerings. Working with high schools is a new experience for me, but it's great to see all of the choices that we bring to the table, from world language to art to academics and credit recovery.
Wow. And you mentioned pre-K. I just think for a parent watching that has a 3, I guess soon to be 4-year-old, right? I guess would be our time age line for that. If they were watching, they should also, right? If it's near summer or if it's approaching summer, to check that website out, right? To go to AACPS, because I guess if they haven't entered, or I guess they probably are already entered. It's probably our pre-K students that are already entered. I was probably thinking outside of that, thinking how do we get them before they come in? But they wouldn't be able to because they're not in our system yet.
But wait, what a great opportunity for us here to remind those parents who may be seeing this, who do have young students at home, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. In AACPS, we did launch 8 pre-K 3-year-old sites this year, and we do continue to grow our 4-year-old program as well. So those times throughout the year, again, springtime is the time where we want to keep our eye on that carousel of that aacps.org website, so that you will see those registration events that are happening, those timelines for our students to get involved. Our summer program is specifically for our 4-year-old pre-K program, so those leaving 4-year-old pre-K. But we do look to expand that in the future. Again, I believe in starting small, that we get things right.
Make it right.
We build that foundation so that we can expand on what works to bring in an even greater community partnership.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tell a little story just for the viewers and for you. So the 3-year-olds, I had the opportunity to be in a school the other day, and we knew we were going to look at the serving lines. So for somebody watching, and we try to make all of our schools look alike, right? So it's a brand. We want students of Anne Arundel County to say, when they're here, they know they're having school meals, school nutrition from Anne Arundel County Public Schools. The lines look the same plate, the same menu items that students test and try and tell us they love them or they don't really like them. And then that's when we look to take something off. But we were in a school, they had the 3-year-olds, and we encourage all the time our students to fill their plate with fruits and vegetables. Well, wow. I left and I was like, I never saw a 3-year-old so excited with so many fruits and vegetables on that plate. And I think the joy of what we get to do is they get to try it all. They don't have to take a half cup of peas. I mean, and I'm not belittling peas, but we don't serve peas. But you might not want a whole half cup of them, but they could still just dabble and try. And to see the sparkle in their eyes, the excitement that they get when they come through the line is priceless. So it's so neat having our 3-year-olds as part of the school system.
And a great way to build those healthy habits at a very young age. Our 3- and 4-year-olds are at a prime age to start building those life skills, start building those habits. And we have that opportunity when, again, that brand is to fill that plate with fruits and vegetables and continue to support those through the summer is really just a great opportunity.
And I think we educate the whole community when we're doing this, right? So our 3-year-old might go home and say to mom or dad, I had for the first time cauliflower. I thought it was great. I really would like you to have some cauliflower, or can you buy cauliflower? So we always say we cultivate communities of wellness, and it's one student at a time, because that one student is going to tell one brother or sister. They're going to tell mom and dad. They might tell an aunt or an uncle or an extended grandmother, grandfather. So it is a neat way to look at it, to say we're really touching the whole community when we do this.
And you guys lead that charge, right? In food and nutrition services. That is the forefront of AACPS nutrition assistance. So we're lucky to have you.
No, well, thank you. We love to do what we do. Let's talk about our partnership a little bit. And then we're going to talk about the other partners, because I think what you've done with summer programming has been amazing, that you really made sure, and you touched on it, but I'm going to have you probably expand a little bit more on our meetings that we have. You talked about starting looking at summer right when, you do that debrief right when summer ends. Talk about how you meet with us monthly, and there's questions for facilities. There could be questions for transportation. Somebody's probably saying, why transportation? There could be questions for recreation and parks or the outside partners. So you touched about it, but let's talk about it a little bit further, and then how, I get to sit at that table with you, and you hear our voice as well from the school nutrition side.
So community is important, right? We talk about communities that surround our schools, and community here, even at the Board of Education and in central office, is extremely important as well. So these monthly meetings, bringing, again, our team from facilities, transportation, preventative maintenance, food and nutrition services, our leadership from Parks and Recs and other areas, because everybody touches these schools, technology. We have to be able to create a foundation and have everyone at the table to have those discussions around program choice. We have to have facilities that are accessible to our families, that serve the purpose for the programs that we would like to have. They need to have the facilities that actually serve, right? That actually can hold what we're looking for. But it truly goes beyond that. Even in just our monthly meetings, we're building a community of learners with our leaders in these areas to make sure that we're all on the same page. We make sure that we all understand what our North Star is, what our goal is during the summer, and being able to communicate like that on a regular basis allows us all to make the best decision.
And it's all of our voices heard, which you just, as I'm going to say, the chair, right, of pulling us all together, you listen to everybody, and we all get to share either successes of what we know works, and how do we really replicate it, or I always say R&R, rip it off and replicate it to put it somewhere else, or how do we really steer away from something, right? So if we know it's not going to be conducive for us in food service for whatever reason. Maybe they're getting a new serving line or a new oven. We should try to stay away from that school. And I think it's nice to talk early and then really align the schools and the programming to the perfect, the match for the student, right?
And everybody brings something to the table in those meetings. Everybody, again, has their ideas, what has worked, what hasn't worked. But again, the goal of our team is to provide the best possible experience for our students and their families.
Let's talk a little bit about my staff. So, and then we'll talk about the meals, but our staff in food and nutrition service, I say it all the time, I'm the luckiest supervisor because they are second to none, the best in the country. They're the best in Maryland, hands down, but I really believe they get the A+ for the whole country. But for somebody watching, they might think, well, of course your staff work in the summer, and food and nutrition staff don't. So in the summer, they're scheduled off. So we ask them if they would like to come back and work for us to serve students. We've seen it during the pandemic. We see it every summer for over 25 years. We say we're ready to open a site. Can you come back and work for us? And without a doubt, they raise their hand and they come right in, right? And they're ready to do it.
And what a Herculean effort that you and your team do, again, to hire and recruit, staff who could have the summer off to come back and serve their communities, or even some of them come back and serve different communities than they serve during the school year. And none of these programs would be in place to serve students and families the way we do if it weren't for our food and nutrition, kitchen staff, both at central office, but those school-based staff really make it happen.
And I love that they're raising their hand. I think we've done it for so many years now. They know. So they're already saying, Jodi, are you looking for any help this summer? So we're already having them feel out to us before we're even asking them. But it really does. It makes the program work for us because without them, it wouldn't work. There's too few of us in the central office to be able to service and assist all those schools, all those programs, and all those students. What is a typical number of students, in that 667 programs that we would maybe offer on a summer?
So again,
thousands.
There are going to be thousands of students who come through our doors each and every day. Our elementary sites can range from about 100 to even up to 400. Our secondary sites, including our secondary summer school, may hit 1,000 or even over that. With the wide variety of programs that we offer, some being 1 week, some 2, some may stretch 4 weeks at a time. So again, the accessibility for our students and their families to cross through those doors, to take part in open sites or the food that is offered during their summer program is going to touch tens of thousands of families in our community this year.
Yeah, and when we do our meals, each summer we're in the hundreds of thousands of meals, which is really, really it's just amazing. The bell rings. We feed them all year, and it's summer break, but it doesn't mean that they're still not hungry. We know we feed them breakfast, that healthy breakfast, a great lunch every day, nourishing their bodies, nourishing their minds. And just because that bell rang, and you already talked about it, we wait until the following Monday, and we're open for business, and we serve those. I think roughly about 50 to 60 sites will serve, meals all the way through until the Thursday before they come back.
Yeah. And we know the benefits, right? The benefits of good nutrition on their health benefits, their academic benefits, and we're always looking, how do we prevent some of that summer slide? And people may not think about the food and nutrition that is needed to keep our students healthy while they're away from us. And so, again, the opportunity to partner, to continue to grow this program, to support our students in a variety of different ways. But I don't want to say it goes without saying, but when your teams provide these community sites and these open sites, our schools are hubs in the community. So our stakeholders are all involved in this. So whether or not the student is participating in a summer program or that open location may or may not have a summer program, it is still a hub in the community that food and nutrition brings those families together to increase, again, social emotional awareness, build that community. And how important is that for our families to get to know one another? And providing those meals is another opportunity to do that.
And I like, because it's free to 2 to 18-year-olds, so if I live next to a school that's going to be an open site, but I have family that visits, right? I have my brother's children come, my sister, whatever it would be, as long as they're 2 to 18, they're able to come to these open sites. So like you said, it really does. It's the hub of that community, and it allows and it affords those families the opportunity to walk over to that school and to pick up that free lunch. And, they eat it in the school. So it's a great hot entree. It's all their favorite items that they have all school year. So we really take pride in, we don't alter anything. If they love the taco, we're going to make sure we have the taco. They love the pot stickers, we're going to make sure we have pot stickers. So it really is the same, food that they get to see all year long. Now, from your standpoint, like looking at, I think you talked about like the health benefits and obviously the mental, but you get to see those school meals and you get to see the excitement when the students come down to see, what we're offering either in a summer site or in an open site. What do they say? Like even for teachers, for yourself, like you probably look at it and say it's making that impact so they can stay at that summer site and they can learn, right? Or they get to have food with us and go home and play hard and be with their family and bond as just young individuals.
And those things are also important, right? They cannot be overlooked. As I will say, as a former principal, elementary principal in the district, lunch duty was one of the great things that I enjoyed because students were always smiling. They were always talking, again, with the opportunity to go through that line, to make those choices, good choices around what they're going to eat for the day. But again, them coming together in the summer sites, I think it's great that they come into the school building and they are eating together. They get to interact with your wonderful staff. They're coming into the school building. So our great secretaries, front office staff, sometimes our school counselors, our principals are there during the summer to build that positive relationship with families, and for those students, family members, whoever it is, to leave that day having had a good experience. And we know that it's important that our children have fun, engaging experiences inside the school building, because that makes them want to come back tomorrow, the next week, and throughout the year.
No, we see that definitely, and I think that was a perfect explanation of having the student want to be in that school, and it is the hub. I also love with summer meals how we go out into the community for those few, right? Too far from a school, lack of transportation that we can't get some of our families that are in maybe more remote areas. But to be able to take that mobile meals bus or van, we started with the bus, we've now kind of converted to a really cool looking van. But to be able to go right where the students are, meet them in the community, say, here's the meal, have the meal with us, and then they get to move on.
Yeah, again, I go back to that common goal that I think you and I have, that we're finding and developing innovative ways to reach our families. So those open sites that may not be at a school, again, we recognize that there are students and families who rely on those school meals each and every day. So being on the lookout, keeping an eye out again on aacps.org, on the carousel, on our Twitter pages, so that all of our families know where those open sites are. Our partners are also going to have that information shared with them. So from all the way up at the Chesapeake Arts Center down to Lothian Elementary School, we're going to ensure that the messaging around our partnership with Food and Nutrition Services is widespread.
Thank you. You're amazing, and thank you from the students of Anne Arundel County. What you do for the families you serve is unbelievable. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
As you can see, Anne Arundel is always going from good to great. If you have any questions about the school meals program, please call me at 410-222-5900. I'll see you next time on Food for Thought.